Moving on and hitting back with the Green Bay Packers, who are seemingly at full strength again. Randall Cobb and Geronimo Allison both expected to play. Out of those two wide receivers, which one do you like the best?
The answer is both. So if you're making me choose, I will pick Randall Cobb just because the targets were better for him when they were both healthy earlier this year. But I honestly want both. Cobb is $6,100. Geronimo Allison is $5,700. And I'm going to make sure I have both of them. But if you look at the first three games this year, which is when both Cobb and Allison were healthy, Randall Cobb had a really good workload in that time. He had 10, 6, and 11 targets in those three games. So I think if you look at the workload, it does favor Cobb over Allison, but Allison's been really good this year, so I'm not going to ignore him by any means. Looking at the individual matchups here, Cobb will likely be facing Nickel Roby-Coleman, which is a very good player for this Rams defense, but I don't really worry about that too much when it's a player like Cobb who is tied to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has shown this year that he trusts Cobb with all those targets he has thrown his way, and that he will use even in not necessarily ideal matchups. So I think when I look at these two guys, I'm going to wind up favoring Cobb at $6,100 just because I like the volume he got earlier this year. But Allison was super efficient on the volume that he got. I like Jimmy Graham. I like Devontae Adams. I want to take a lot of stabs at this team. But I think given the way this slate sets up, where there are a lot of high-priced running backs that I want to play, a lot of high-priced quarterbacks too, it makes sense to take the savings, go with Randall Cobb, go with Geronimo Allison. I think between those two, I do wind up favoring Cobb just because the workload early was better.
Workload was definitely better, but the long play, that's Allison's. You know he'll be targeted throughout this game, deep, especially in a game they're going to have to throw all day long. I think it's fun for all three Packers wide receivers, and I completely agree with you, Jim, that you can start either Allison or Cobb. You say Cobb, I say Allison, but it's all good.